figure I'll do this just before I forget, but this is the 74 408, and I actually sold it to a buddy of mine, and guess what? It's reappeared. Doesn't run now. I have tested, doesn't have spark. It probably just needs the points cleaned, but it's on that list. You know how that goes. But anyhow, tighten the steering up, get it to start and run, and should be a nice, easy, simple one. Before I forget, the seat looks a lot worse than it did before, but I think it had duct tape on it before. I think so. Alrighty guys, I did confirm. It has no spark. I pulled the points cover and cleaned the points, and they weren't arcing or doing anything, although they were dirty. And they're actually misaligned, which I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Probably not, but just take my word for it. But here's what I figured out. I think you guys can see if you put a hot wire on there, it arcs. And then now, so we got no power to the coil. Why we have no power to the coil? That is the question. So I know the battery was changed, or another one was installed, we'll say. I think the best thing I can do is just start chasing the wiring, because basically whenever you turn this to on, there should be power, I think, at that plug, because only the other one is start. And that should really be about it. The voltage regulator is always hot in this, because this is only a what do you want to call it? I think it's a 3-position switch, because it's off, on, or off, run, start. And it also only has 3 legs. So my assumption is the switch KO'd. Now, a new set of points would probably be a good idea in this thing, but that's going to suck. Because I was very fortunate that the last Soul that worked on this didn't put the lower screw in the points cover. Whoever that was, thank you for leaving that out. Because it's a little bit harder to get your hands down in here to do that. I just noticed how dry rotted that belt is. I'll have to talk to Gary, see what he wants to do. So, guess we'll go from there. I guess I'll double check and make sure it's not putting power out there and it's not a connection issue there, and we'll go from there. As far as tightening the steering up, see if I can get it to do it. Because I know this thing, yeah, there, it skipped over itself. What it is, there's a bolt through there that holds these 2 gears together, and basically needs tightened up. I think it's straight down in there. I tightened up one other one. I think it was my 76. Take the cotter pin out of there and tighten it up, which sounds easy, but it's really not. So anyhow, figure out what's going on here. I guess I'll get a test light out and see what I can figure out. So a little bit of poking around. I had power coming out of the switch and the wire coming off of the switch, but no power to the coil. Now there's only 2 electronical devices on a 408. One would be the ignition coil, the other would be the voltage regulator. Well, the coil piggybacks off of the voltage regulator, and this right here is the wire going up to the key switch, or what supplies power to everything else, make the tractor charge, make it start, etc. Oops, sorry guys. But that's pretty much problem there. So this needs to go in with this red connector right here, is where the remnants were. And if you hook it into there, that's actually the wire going up to the coil. Apparently somewhere there it switches to red, but these wires are all kind of nasty and taped up here. I'm assuming when the battery was changed on this, it probably got pulled. So, at least that's my thought anyhow. So, let me fix this up and see if she'll run on her own. So, little wrinkle in the plans, I am all out of female spade connectors. But as a short test, I could just twist the two wires together and make sure it still runs, and then I will go from there. I'll have to go buy some connectors. So, let me twist some wires together, bring you guys back, see if it'll start. Okay, wires are twisted together by legitimately one thread. See if, so, there's your problem. So, we'll have to get the correct connectors, and I guess we'll go from there. Maybe I'll go out and root around in my truck once, because I may have some out there. I may. I don't know. Have to look. So, I'll be honest with you guys. I looked everywhere, and I can't find a female spade connector. So, for now, I guess this will kind of go on the back burner. Go on the back burner, if I can talk, until I can get some female spade connectors. When I do that, we'll have that part of it figured out, and then we'll work on the steering. And I think Gary told me to go ahead and check the blades too, so we'll do that. So I'll see you guys whenever I get some parts, I guess. Alrighty guys, I did get some connectors there this morning, and I put it back together, and she does start and run on her own right now. So the next thing I'm going to move into is the steering, and you're going to go, Steve, why is the deck off? It's so much easier to do it from the bottom, just trust me. Plus, it's going to need some new blades anyhow, so I got to talk to the owner on it, and we will go from there. But anyhow, your steering skipping on your 408. Alright. So once you've got the deck off, and you can see all this from the top, but so much easier to adjust from the bottom. I don't have a flashlight, so I hope that you guys may be able to see. And you guys can see good enough, but there's a castle nut on the end here with a cotter pin through it that holds this from spinning. Basically what you do is you tighten this up until you get about 0 lash out of this, I'm gonna say. And now let's just see how much tighter the steering is. And you guys did see that. I did just adjust that with my fingers. I didn't even need a wrench. Let's see, before there was a lot of space in between that gear, which I should have did it before shot, but well, I guess I can. Hold on. For you guys, we'll make this a little extremer than what it was, but if you guys can see how far away the teeth are, they're just barely engaging now. So when you turn that nut, I think you guys can see that. I know I can. I'm just gonna go like zero lash and make sure I get the cotter pin in there, and then it tightens the steering up a lot. I'm gonna say it could probably benefit from some grease in the front end too, but so much better. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a new set of points in this thing, because the points are hitting, they're kind of hitting like this. They're like half off of each other. So a new set of points will probably help some. Otherwise, other than maybe a new air filter, just use one. Oil's black too. I'll talk to him, see what he wants to do. And That should help your 408 steering out a lot. I know this is the second gen. This is a 74. I've done this on my 76. I don't know if my 70 is like this or not. I'll have to look. But pretty easy to adjust, I think. What do you guys think? Anyhow, back to 408 fixing. I guess I could show you guys. Oh, if you choke it. She does run now. Beautiful. Love it when a plan comes together. Alright, let me put this cotter pin back in and I'll go from there. Alrighty guys, it's been quite a while since I've worked on the 408. I want to say it's probably been about 2 weeks. In between the last clip and this clip, I've started a new job. And that takes up a lot of my time. I work minimum about 10-hour days, and we put in some 12s last week. So today is Friday. We've put our 40 hours in already for the week. So we're off the rest of the week for right now until everything dries up and there's an abundance of work. But anyhow, I don't remember where I left off on this thing, but I did get the electrical fixed the whole way. I know I did that before I started back to work. Got a new connector there. You guys can see it to the voltage regulator. It does start and run. Basically the owner of this basically said, hey, check it over, see if you see anything that needs replacing. Yep. Well, the blades, I think you guys can see, are all missing a fair bit on the ends. I'm actually surprised this thing doesn't shake and rattle a whole lot more. So I ordered some blades. Now these did come off of eBay, but they actually come from a reputable company. It's Mark Bricker at the Tractor Museum. And basically I did this. The job we were working at all week during the day. I guess I'll show you this up here. Pretty much I had no cell phone service, so I could not order parts during the day for about a week, so I ended up just ordering these on eBay one weekend. And of course, right after we ordered that, we stopped working on that job and moved to some jobs that had some cell phone reception. So got that. I got parts for that 50-inch deck, so I can finally finish that up, but that'll be a whole separate saga. So anyhow, gonna get the blades changed on this, and I gotta talk to the owner about this and to see if there's anything else he wants me to do here. And I'll show you guys how to check out a 408 deck. And today is actually 408 day, so great day to be working on a 408. Yeah, Gravely guys do it too. And I do want to take a second to mention there's quite a few places you can get parts for these old Gravely's. Tractor Museum, they have a little bit of L stuff, a little bit of Kohler stuff, a little bit of Onan stuff, and Ryder stuff. And then you have GT Enterprises, which is Todd and Gayland. They specialize in L parts, and L parts only. So like the jug, well, not so much the jug, but the pistons, the rings, connecting rods, the bushings, etc. They have some electric start parts and other things. They specialize in that, and that is all they do. Richard's Lawn and Garden, Jamie, and all the people that work there, they do L stuff, Kohler powered stuff, walk behinds, riders, you name it. That's what they do. And those are all people in a heartbeat. I would say call up, whatever part you need, talk to them. If you have any issues, do not hesitate to call them, and they will be more than happy to help you through the stuff. So, done my little PSA there. Not paid by anybody to say that, but that is just a, we all got to keep these old tractors going. And there's not only Gravely in here, but, Kohler dealer, help you with that sort of thing. So, without further ado, I'm going to get these blades swapped out. And then I'll lay the deck down, and I will check the gearboxes on this. Yes, you heard me, gearboxes. The 408 has a gearbox for each spindle. And so everybody's aware, these blades are the same as a 50-inch deck blade. you guys can see how much is worn away on that. So that's why I told the guy this needed blades. Anyhow, let me get that done, and I'll catch you guys on the flip-flop here. Okay there, guys. Figured I'd turn the camera on because I have a tendency not to show much work just because stuff goes wrong. So a couple things I'll tell you guys. Never put your finger in here like this and try and take this out of a socket on an impact while it's still plugged in. Because if you accidentally press that trigger and it starts going, you'll have that wound up on your finger and spend the day in the emergency room, and that will not be fun. So, short version of a long story, when you're putting blades on, the lift always goes up, or the lift always goes towards the top of the deck, I guess would be the best way to say it. Because that's what gives the blades the lifts, like, you know, for picking up like already cut grass or leaves. And the main difference between a regular blade and a sand blade is a sand blade doesn't have any lift, or does not have much lift. Because if it picks up the sand, it will... The sand is what wears the blade off. The sand's really abrasive. Okay. So I got the blades on. And hopefully you guys can see these blades. I mean, these blades are... I don't know what somebody did there. That's just crazy. This one's got a chunk taken out of it. I think all it is, and that one there's ate off like that too. I think all it is, they just got so thin they got hit with rocks and were breaking. There's not much slop between the gearboxes, but that's okay. I mean, this tractor is from 1974. Is the year of this tractor. It was the first year of the red and white 408s. I'm assuming, and I know, assuming, this is the original deck for it. Well, the slot must be in the gearbox. Alright. Let me restart the clip so you guys can see the gearbox. Recording. Alright guys, I'm just going to open up one gearbox here and just show you guys, and I'll do the other one off camera. Just want to make sure there's some kind of lubricant in here. Grease, oil. I personally don't care. Look, that's loose. Tighten that up. I'm not the old guy in the back of the shop that says, "Oh my God, that has to have oil, can't have grease." So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add some grease to this. None of the teeth look really worn. Hopefully you guys can see this alright. I think so. Double check your guys's. Yeah. Now I think you guys can see there's two gears down in there. Let's see if I can do it without being in the light. There's not a lot of play there, but I think you guys can see the looseness in there is where most of the play is. So yeah, I'm just gonna, I don't know, give this like 4 pumps of grease down in there. Maybe just a touch 80-90 just to get a coagulation of oil grease going on, like 00 grease would be good for in here. And I'm going to check the other side, and at that point we'll slap this baby back on the tractor. Right? Right, yeah, that's all I got to do. All I got to do. Alrighty guys, ready to try. Really hope I said this right earlier. This is a 74 408. Let's try this thing out, see what it starts like, and run the deck and make sure everything's good, and this thing can go bye-bye then. I gotta clean this up on my list. I believe we completed the mission, guys. It runs. It's got decent blades on it now. And that's pretty much what he was after. Guess I've just double checked with him on one other thing. And this thing's gonna get kicked out of the shop, so I got some more room to work on some other stuff. So anyhow guys, thanks for watching. Catch everybody in the next one. Later. 408 day, 408 style. You know. Alrighty guys, so I talked to the owner of this 408, and he said, yeah, go ahead, change the drive belt, get it done. That way, you know, he doesn't have to do it. So, what I do know, the drive belt is supposed to be a 1/2 inch by 88. Does it say it on here anywhere? 1/2 inch belt. Half by 88 inch. And as far as changing this belt, there is nothing fancy or nothing special you have to unhook from what I remember. Pretty much pull this front belt cover off. If you push the clutch down, well, I may need my second hand to get it off. But pretty much you can roll the belt off of here, you can roll it off the transmission pulley, and then once you do that, then you got all the play in the world to change this belt. And from what I know, you don't have to take the shift plate off or anything, because there's only a pulley here, and hopefully you guys can see down there, there's nothing down there. And I think you guys, yeah, you guys can see the drive belt here. That's why we want to change it, because it's weather checked, we're dry rotted. But all the pulleys and stuff are right here. See, there's the transmission pulley is right there. And I think it's just in the shadow, but there is the actual clutch pulley that puts the tension on it right there. So pretty much you just gotta snake the belt out and be good to go. I guess this is gonna be a segment all about 408s. It's not what I intended it to be when I started it. But sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. So let me get this belt out. If there's something interesting that you have to do, I will drop it in at the end of this. So I will tell you guys, and it's only been probably about 5 or 8 minutes since I set the camera down and took this belt out. But before you go snaking a belt in anywhere, make sure it's about the right length, because last thing you want to do is fish this belt back in through here and it be too short, too long, etc. So the only two special things, and I wouldn't even really call it special, just super windy today, guys. I'll try and keep the door shut, but it hangs up on the clutch rod that goes back to the idler arm back here. So you just kind of push it over with your finger and the belt will slide past it and through it. And the only other thing is, in order to get it out of up front here, I think you guys can see that bolt that comes down and holds it. You have to get the belt up around behind here and over top of it, because this is what stops the belt from turning so you can put it in gear. And then you can fish it around the end of this plate and in between the pulley. So I'm going to decide which direction I want to fish this belt in, because it's not real rocket science, but I'm sure there's an easier way to do it and the way I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to fish it in from the back, because I took it out that way and it seemed fairly simple. And then we'll fish it on the front and we'll see how she works. Because this is basically your clutch too. So clutching this thing will, even though it's not really a clutch, it just takes tension off the belt. It'll grab a lot different. So this will give this tractor a whole new feel. So put this on, see what happens, bring you guys back. Alright, since we're doing a 408 maintenance video, it's a good idea to check the transmission oil. In the top here is the ad. There's a pipe plug that you remove. And basically, to check the oil level, come down here on the side, and you take this. Take this plug out, and oil should run out or be to the thread. So that's basically all we're looking for here. We got a little bit of oil. It's not profusely running out, but it's right at the good mark. So we'll close that up and call it acceptable. Because pretty much what it does when this transmission runs is it flings that gear oil around, and that gear oil kind of, for lack of better words, if you ever looked at it, it's almost like honey, and it kind of sticks to the gears, so every time it turns around it dips more in. It's kind of a little bit of a cushion from the metal on metal is my 2 cents of the apparatus. So, got that done, and at this point we're ready to drive her out of the shop and try everything. Always check the fuel. We got an inch or so of fuel, good enough for a test drive. So, any kind of crude luck, should be able to start and drive this thing out here, right? Alright. Already not off to a good start. So there you are, guys. Working on a 1973 408. It's running and working pretty good. A little bit of an idler pulley making a little bit of noise down there, but should be good. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch everybody in the next one. Later. Almost like I'm back in my old day job. Changing a blade, and here you got one blade off already. Wants to do the spark plug and the fuel filter. The spark of the plug is down in there. I think you guys can see that. Yeah. So we get my long needle nose and a 5/8 socket and get that out of there. Now that it's nice and hot. 430's here.